Hi everyone, my name is Karen, this is my channel RatherBeReading, and today I'm bringing to you my April book haul. So as I mentioned in my March book haul, I knew April was probably going to be a bit of a bigger month because I've really been undisciplined of late with my book buying, and that proved correct. So as always, let's just jump straight in with the library books that I picked up in the month of April. The first of those that I have is The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith. This is the first book in the Cormoran Strike series, I believe it's called. I picked this one up to fulfill the challenge of reading a book by an author who writes under more than one name, because obviously, as I'm sure you all know, Robert Galbraith is J.K. Rowling. I haven't read anything of J.K. Rowling's besides the Harry Potter series, which is a crime, and I need to rectify that, and I've been wanting to read these. As soon as I saw that challenge on the list, I knew this is what I was going to pick up. It is a big novel. I didn't expect it to be as big as this. It is over 500 pages, and I don't know too much about it except that I just believe it's like a crime detective kind of series following a detective, so I am really looking forward to getting to this. I also picked up Fear in Fashion by Emily Rodda, which is the next book in the Teen Power Inc. / Raven Hills mystery series that I needed to get. And I also picked up The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. This is a book that I picked up to fulfill the challenge of reading a book about mental illness. I have seen the movie, but I have not read the book. I really enjoyed the movie. This is a book that people talk a lot about, and I've heard really amazing things about, and I've always wanted to read it, so I definitely thought this was the best one to pick for that challenge. The next book I picked up from the library is Compulsion by Martina Boone. I picked this up to fulfill the challenge of reading the 16th book on your to read pile. So I went to Goodreads, I sorted my to read shelf, and then I went through without looking at them first and kind of cleaned up the first like 2 pages. I went through and kind of removed some things from that list that I really didn't have any interest in reading anymore, and then I checked what the 16th book was, and it was this book. This is the first book in the Heirs of What's an Island series. I don't know if it's a trilogy, series, duology, I don't have any idea. I can't really remember what this is about, except that I believe that it is a Southern Gothic story, which is something that I really enjoy, so I am looking forward to getting to this one. I also got Danger in Rhyme by Emily Rodda, which is another one from the Teen Power Inc. series that I needed to pick up, and then I also have The Mysteries of Udolpho by Anne Radcliffe. Now, you might be thinking, if you've been watching my channel, hey Karen, didn't you haul this a couple of months ago? Yes. Yes, I did, and then it came up due at my library, and I didn't have any renewals on it, and it was due like really soon, and there's no way I was getting to it in a timely fashion and completing it, so I returned it and then requested it again. Hopefully I can get to this before it's due back at the library. This is absolutely enormous. It is almost 900 pages. This is the book that I picked up to fulfill the challenge of reading a book that is mentioned in another book, because this is mentioned quite a lot in Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen, and when I kept hearing it mentioned in that, I really wanted to pick it up, so yeah. And the final book that I picked up from the library this month was Cry Wolf by Emily Rodda, which is again the next book in the Teen Power Inc. series that I had to get to. So those are all the library books that I picked up. Now let's move on to the far too many physical books that I bought myself in the month of April. The first of those is Written in Red by Anne Bishop. This is a book that I've heard a bit about on BookTube. It's not a huge amount of people I see talking about it, but the people who do talk about it have really great things to say about it. I believe this deals with, I think it's an urban fantasy story that follows a girl who, I think she's a blood prophet, and when she's cut, she can see the future, which makes her like really sought after. And that's all I really know about it. I've heard good things about it. I do know that apparently it has a really slow burn romance, which I'm looking forward to reading about. But I had never seen this cover before, and to be honest, I don't really like the covers of the other covers like that I've seen around. And this cover, I'll just bring it up a bit closer so you can see, I really do enjoy. Unfortunately, when I looked it up, I don't think there's any other covers to match this for the rest of the series, so that's disappointing. I'm probably going to have to get unmatching covers for the rest of the series, but I am really looking forward to getting to this at some point. Next, I have Their Fractured Light by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. This is the third book in what I believe is a companion trilogy. I own the first two books. I haven't read them, but now I have the whole trilogy. I also picked up Luck's Consequences by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the bind-up of the third and fourth books in the Luck series. I already own the bind-up of the first two, which I got for my birthday last year, and so I bought this next bind-up. Again, I haven't read that first two, but now I own the first four. Next, I picked up A Game for All the Family by Sophie Hannah. Sophie Hannah is an author who writes a series that I believe is called the Spilling CID series, which follows a UK police kind of group of police officers and their psychological thriller series, which I really enjoy. I really enjoy Sophie Hannah's writing. I believe this is just a standalone psychological thriller that she's written. I don't know too much about it, but I love Sophie Hannah. She's basically an auto buy for me, so I picked this one up in the month of April. Next, I picked up Luckiest Girl Alive by Jessica Knoll. This is a book that I have already read, but I didn't own a physical copy of because I believe that I read this from NetGalley. Again, I got caught with not realizing that this would be a mass market paperback, but that's okay. I really enjoyed this book. I'm glad to have a physical copy of it. This is, again, kind of a psychological thriller type story that I really, really enjoyed, and I do recommend checking out if it sounds like something you might enjoy. Next, I picked up Uprooted by Naomi Novik. This is a book that I've heard a lot about on BookTube. I'm sure you all know what it's about. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling that I believe follows, I think he's a wizard, and in order to protect this little village, they give him, like, sacrifice to him. Not sacrifice, they don't kill her, but they give him a girl kind of to be his slave. The main character is chosen to be this new slave. That's the story. It's a Beauty and Beast retelling. I love Beauty and the Beast, and I was tossing up between the two covers. I'll put pictures of them on the screen for you guys to see, and I didn't know which cover I wanted, the UK or the American cover, and they were both quite expensive, and then I just kind of stumbled across this edition on Book Depository, and it was cheaper, and I really like this cover. This, like, gold on the trees here is like gold foiling. It's got the robe, which is obviously like Beauty and the Beast. I just really enjoyed this cover. It was cheaper, so I figured, why the heck not? Next, I have This Girl by Colleen Hoover. This is, I believe, the third book in the Slammed trilogy. I also picked up The Winner's Kiss by Marie Rutkowski. This is the third book in the Winners trilogy. Again, I own the first two and I haven't read any of them, but now I own the whole trilogy. I've heard really, really good things about this trilogy, and I'm really excited to get to it because I really think I'm going to enjoy it. Next, I picked up The Girl in 6E by A.R. Torrey, or Tor, I'm not sure how you pronounce that exactly. This is a erotic thriller about a girl who has tendencies to murder people, and so she hasn't left her apartment, I believe, in 3 years. In order to get money, she's a cam girl, she performs sex acts on the internet. I've heard really good things about this series on BookTube. It sounds like something I would really enjoy. I'm really excited to get to this. And yes, I picked this up in April. I also picked up Under the Never Sky by Veronica Rossi. This is the first book in a trilogy that I've heard a lot about on BookTube, but I don't actually know. I just realized what this is actually about. I think this might have in it, though, a really good male-female friendship that, like, never really goes into the areas of being, like, a love triangle. There's obviously a love interest as well, but this never goes into love triangle territory, so that's really cool. I think, if that's the series that I'm thinking of. I've heard good things about this, but I don't actually know what it's about, as I said, but I am looking forward to getting to this at some point. So at this point of the month, I was really determined not to buy any more books for the rest of the month, and there is a store in the city near where I work that has it. They say it's like a discount bookstore, but I don't find them to really be that cheap. However, they are, like, more reasonably priced than, like, say, Dimmicks, but they're not, like, super cheap. Like, you can still get them for cheaper online. However, they were having a 20% off sale, so I ended up picking up 5 books. I ended up getting all 5 for about $35, I believe it was, so I was really pleased. So the first of those that I got is Cooper Bartholomew is Dead by Rebecca James. I don't actually know what this is about, but I have read one book by Rebecca James, which I really enjoyed, but I have, like, basically every book that she's written on my to-read list. Like, all of her books just sound really interesting to me. I did buy in my last month's book haul, I believe it was, from a secondhand bookshop, I think it was Beautiful Malice, and this is one that I'd marked as to-read quite a while ago. The little tagline here is "One person knows the truth." I don't know, sounds interesting. It was 20% off and I saw it, so I grabbed it. Next, I picked up 2 classics. They are Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte and Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I have never read either of these 2 books, which is a crime. I really, really in particular want to read Jane Eyre. I'm not a huge fan of these covers, but I don't know if you can see the price stickers on there. They were only $6 originally, and then they were 20% off. So I figured I may as well get them when they're this cheap, read them. If I love them, I can always buy like a beautiful edition later on down the line. So I picked up both of these this month. And the final 2 books that I collected in the month of April is Crown of Midnight and Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. Do I own the first or the third book or the novella binder? No, I do not. I guess because they're like a discount bookstore, they only really have like overflow stock, I'm guessing, and so they always have, like, I've seen these in there a bunch of times, just the second and fourth books. They never have the first or the third or the bind up. And I've looked at them in there a bunch of times and considered getting them. I was really torn for a while on whether to get the UK or the US covers because I kind of like them equally, and I figured just go with the UK covers. It's not that I like them any less. And when they were 20% off, I just couldn't go past them. So even though they are the second and the fourth books, I now need to buy the first and the third and Assassin's Blade, the novella binder, as I mentioned. I really do love these covers. Like I said, the UK and the US, like, you know, her in her kind of, you know, looking all badass, and then there being like the dresses, and I like that they're solid color on the back. I really enjoy them, and it's probably a crime that I'm on BookTube and I haven't read this series. I think I haven't been in a rush to get to this series because it is going to be a 6-book series and only 4 books are out so far, and I don't want to have to like read it and then love it and then have to wait for the next 2 books. And I have heard mixed things about Queen of Shadows. Some people really loved it. Some people seem to not enjoy where the series was going. However, I just couldn't look past these in the store, and let's be real, it's probably going to take me forever to get to these, and by the time I get to these, the 5th book at least will probably out, if not the whole series. So yeah, I've got it for when I get to it. So those are the far too many books that I collected in the month of April. If you have any thoughts on any of these books, if you've read them, I would love to chat to you guys down below. If you collected any books in April, I would love to chat to you guys about any books that you got in April. What was your favorite book that you picked up this month that you're most excited for? Let's chat in the comments down below. Please like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe if you want to see more. But that's all I've got for this video today. Bye guys.